Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin, and today's video, or tonight's video, what I'm going to be talking about is the top 10 most overpowered guns in Call of Duty history. Now, I know a lot of people on YouTube do top 10s, top 5s, all that sort of stuff. There's too many to mention, but I thought that this series would be pretty cool, especially me. I've been playing Call of Duty for years now. Ever since Call of Duty 4, I played basically all the time, to be honest, and I've been on YouTube and stuff like that, and I figured that I want to do sort of my own sort of top 5s, top 10s, not all the time, but just sometimes. And I want to bring you guys top 10, in my opinion, guns that I think are overpowered, top 10 other stuff in Call of Duty history. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this series, and if you guys do, that would be freaking awesome if you guys could support it. The first episode, I'd appreciate if you guys could smash that support up on it. Now, some of you guys may disagree with my top 10s. Basically, I look through everything in Call of Duty and I go for all the guns and everything like that. This is going to be most overpowered guns. So from Call of Duty 4 up, because really Call of Duty 2 I played a tiny bit, Call of Duty 3 and Call of Duty 1 I really didn't play at all. So that's why I'm going from Call of Duty 4 up. And now these guns are only going to be primary weapons, and they're basically going to be the most overpowered. So I hope you guys will enjoy this series. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think are really overpowered weapons, and also let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to see me do for my next top 10 or my next top 5. Please let me know that down in the comment section below. I'm open to all sorts of ideas, and let's get right into this thing. So before we go into the top 10, and I'm going to count down from 10 to number 1 with pictures up on the screen, I want to give some honorable mentions. Now basically how we're going to do this is only primary weapons, and what I mean by overpowered is I mean in the game that they are compared to the other guns, how overpowered they are. And like MW2 has a ton of powerful guns, same with MW3, but some of these overpowered guns might be from COD 4 or World at War, simply for the fact that that gun was so high class compared to the other guns in the game. Hopefully you guys will understand that. Now, these are only primary weapons, but let's go through and give a quick honorable mention to a few guns. The honorable mention, I'm going to give a shout out to a few secondary guns and a few other ones. I'm also not going to do guns that really were only good for part of the game and then got patched. So here's the honorable mention. The honorable mention, I'm going to put the ACR from MW2. This thing was a laser, super good gun, but MW2 had a lot of guns, which makes it not really that overpowered. However, it's debatable, this one. The next honorable mention is the PDW from BO2, the pre-patched PDW. The only reason this gun didn't make it into the top 10 is because it got patched pretty early in BO2, but before that, this gun was absolutely destructive. And then the last two things in my honorable mention are the MW3 FMG9s, which are super overpowered, but are secondary, so they'll probably go in my top 10 secondary video or something like that. And the MW2 Model 1887's pre-patch were absolutely destructive. You could literally shoot people across the map. Probably the most broken gun in the history of Call of Duty, and the reason it is on the list because it's a secondary gun. So these are the top 10 primary overpowered guns. Let's get right into it. So at number 10, what I have for you guys is the MW2 UMP. Now, the reason why this is number 10 and not higher is because this gun was by far the best SMG in this game. This thing had no recoil and was like a 2-shot or a 3-shot kill. Everyone would run it with the silencer, and you could just tap it. You could get people across the map. Now, the reason why it's not higher is because MW2 has a ton of overpowered guns, a ton of super good guns, and that's why I'm going to put the UMP at number 10 here. A really good gun. Anyone that's played MW2 knows that this is probably one of the best SMGs in Call of Duty history. Most of these guns on this list are assault rifles, so this thing definitely deserves the number 10 spot. Now coming in next, we have the BAL from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and more specifically the BAL Obsidian Steed. This gun was super overpowered at the start of the game, but they did make some changes to it, which made it not the best gun in the game. They made the ASM-1 a lot better than the BAL, in my opinion. However, the BAL was still the best assault rifle and still super overpowered, especially if you had the Obsidian Steed version or the Inferno or the Royalty version with those variants. It just adds on to how overpowered this gun was, especially at the start of the game. That's why the BAL Obsidian Steed from AW, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about this, deserves that number 9 spot. Coming in next, we have the MP5 from Call of Duty 4. Now, a lot of you guys probably don't know all these Call of Duty games or all these Call of Duty guns. If you guys do, that's awesome. You guys can go through the list with me. If not, you're getting a little bit of Call of Duty knowledge spat in your face right here. MP5 from Call of Duty 4 was deadly. This was a gun that could have been in the games now, MW3, MW2, BO2. The MP5 was that good. However, it was back in COD 4 when a lot of the guns were a bit weaker, took more shots to kill, and especially had no range. The MP5 was one that had little recoil, pretty good range, and a super fast fire rate. Everyone would throw the red dot on this thing. This was one of the best SMGs ever with a red dot. You throw that on, this is by far the best SMG in COD 4, and that's why it deserves a spot on this list. Next, what we have for you guys is some MW3 gun. The MW3 MP7. Everyone knows about this thing. It had no recoil at all, super high fire rate, super good to hip fire, super good range, and just outclassed pretty much every gun in the game except for another one which you'll see on this list. The MP7 was crazy, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you played MW3, a ton of you guys probably got your first MOABs with the MW3 MP7. I think I did. I'm not really sure. No, my first MOAB was not with the MP7, but I probably got hundreds of MOABs with the MP7. You could run it with extended mag silencer, and it would just melt people. It was absolutely crazy gun, and this definitely deserves a spot on this list. Now, coming in at number 5, I believe this is this is number 6, I think. The MW2 FAMAS. Again, in a game where guns were super overpowered, this MW2 FAMAS was like a guaranteed one-shot kill, which was deadly. Back in competitive play, everyone was rocking FAMAS, ACR, UMP, which are all mentioned in this video, and the FAMAS was probably one of my favorite guns ever in Call of Duty, to be honest. I would use this thing all the time. You could just burst people down one burst. It was so fun to use this gun. If you hit them anywhere above the chest, it's a one burst, no matter the range, pretty much. MW2 FAMAS definitely deserves the 6th spot on this list. A crazy good gun, and that's why it's up here. Now, the 4th spot for most overpowered primary weapons is going to be the MW3 ACR. MW3, like I mentioned a few guns ago, the MP7 was overpowered, but the ACR took it to another level. The ACR was like the MP7 assault rifle version, and everyone knows how good the assault rifles are in Call of Duty, always. This ACR was awesome. There's basically, if you were going try hard, there was no other gun. A lot of people would say the Type 95, which was good, but it got patched really early in the game, which is why it didn't make this list. MW3 ACR is just everything you want in a gun. It's got strafing ability, it's got no recoil, it's got a kills fast. Stuff like this is absolutely crazy. And MW3, if you were ever going to try hard or going for a MOAB, it's MP7 or ACR. Nothing else even comes close, and that's why MW3 ACR is number 5 on this spot. Coming in at number 4, we have our first BO2 gun, which is the AN94. I did mention the PDW pre-patch, but the AN94 was deadly. Whenever I would go try hard in BO2, it was always AN94. This gun killed fast, had no recoil. It's very similar to the MW3 ACR and how it just outclasses everything else in the game. And they really didn't change it that much. The AN94 is always going to be the best gun in BO2 in my opinion, especially if you're an assault rifle player. I'm sure all assault rifle players can agree. The M8 is also pretty good. But the AN94, just the ability to use this gun with any sort of setup, any sort of map, is just deadly, and that's what makes this gun really overpowered. Now we're getting into the top 3. The top 3 are pretty unusual. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Coming in at number 3. What do we have at number 3? We have the ASM-1 from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This gun is insane. If you have the Speakeasy version, it's over. Nothing is even close to the Speakeasy version. I'd say it's way better than the Obsidian Steed, like late in the game. Look, if you hop on now, the ASM-1 was so good in this game that they had to make DLC weapons overpowered as well to keep up with the ASM-1. They put in the MP40, they put in the Sten. Those DLC weapons were really overpowered, and also this list doesn't include any DLC weapons. But the ASM-1 just outclasses that so much, and it's just so godly, this gun. If you have the Speakeasy, even if you don't have the Speakeasy and you have a normal variant of it, if you have the Reckless or the Stride or any variant of the ASM-1 is going to melt people. And it's just a crazy good game. With the movement in that game, the ASM-1 is unmatchable, and that's why it's number 3 on my list. Now, we're getting to the top 2. The top 2 are from older Call of Duties, and hopefully you guys may agree, you guys may disagree. That's why I have the comment section below. Number 2 is the Black Ops 1 FAMAS. Now, this gun did get patched, but it literally got patched like 8 months after the game was out. And the BO1 FAMAS was deadly. I remember, okay, my friends would clown me in this game. I was a huge tryhard in BO1. I made a tryhard account, and I had a 9 KD on that account. And even on my main account, I had like a 3.5 KD or something like that. I would use the FAMAS every game. I would use it every single game. That's how overpowered it was. My friends would clown me. That we'd look at my combat record. It would be FAMAS 1,000,000 kills, and the next gun 5,000 kills. That's how good this FAMAS was, and that's why it's number 2. So good, and even after the patch is a good gun. But basically how they changed it in the patch, if you guys haven't played BO1 in its prime. In BO1 in its prime, this gun had no recoil at all. Now they made it so the recoil kicks up to the right, and it's still a good gun. But this thing was absolutely insane before, with that fast mags or the dual mags, whatever it's called in that game. Best gun, second best gun in Call of Duty history, most overpowered gun. Now for the number 1 spot, I'm sure a lot of you old Call of Duty heads can guess what it is. Some of you guys that aren't older Call of Duty heads probably can't guess. It is the MP40 from World at War. And now the MP40 from World at War, this is an older Call of Duty. This is the 5th Call of Duty installment. It came out after COD 4. World at War really didn't have all the best guns at all. It didn't have many good guns at all. but it had this one gem, and especially with the round drum you could put on that thing that was like extended mags. The MP40 was insane. No recoil, fastest to kill, best hip fire. You could run the round drum, you could run a silencer on it, and it just outclassed every single gun in the game. And it made the MP40 the most overpowered gun in Call of Duty history, in my opinion. These top two are very good, and then compared to the rest of the list, these things are super overpowered. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this list of my top 10 overpowered guns in Call of Duty history. If there's something you guys think I left off the list, let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys disagree with the list, let me know if you want to change the order up a little bit, or if there's other things you think should be added onto the honorable mentions. I want to say once again, this is only the primary weapons. The secondaries that I mentioned in the honorable mention are freaking good as well. But these are the top 10 most overpowered primaries in Call of Duty history. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I had a lot of fun making these. Honestly, I want to do more top 10s. I know a lot of people do it, but they're so fun to make, and I had a lot of fun looking through all the lists in Call of Duty. I looked through every single Call of Duty game to get the best guns, and hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Now, if you guys do, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to see from my next top 10 or top 5 series. That would be awesome to get some suggestions from you. Also, if you guys made it down to the end of this video, leave a comment saying top 10. I'd really appreciate that if you guys did make it to the end of the video. As well, Gamma, my sponsor, is having a crazy deal right now. Basically, if you buy one of the tubs of Gamma, which a tub is pretty big, it'll last you like at least a month. You can also get the shaker cup for free. So I recommend if you've ever wanted to try Gamma, do it now. There's a link in the description. Using my code GOBLIN, you can get yourself a really good deal and 10% off that really good deal. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys can, support it. Subscribe if you've made it to the end. Comment top 10. Holy crap, this was a long commentary. Thank you guys for watching top 10 most overpowered guns in COD history. I'd appreciate some support. I mean, this is the first episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for Cookie and Dope Lucky, and I'm out. Peace.